Well, I'm still Dad, but I've got a different car to show you today. This is going to be a 1-week wrap-up introduction to my very own 2024 Civic Type R. What are my first thoughts? What do I think? It better be cool because I paid for it. And if it's crap, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. So how to get one of these things? Well, in Canada, it's pretty hard. I had a deposit in here for 27 months, the day after they announced that they were going to bring these to Canada. And I knew they were going to be the last internal combustion engine version of the Type R. The FK8, the model before this, has held its value very well. So I thought, you know, it's a lot of money here in Canada, but I think it's worth it. So I'm at Honda. Got a phone call this morning saying I could finally have my Civic Type R, 51-month wait. The guy ahead of me bailed on it, and so it was mine, and so we quickly drove over here, and we're gonna take this thing home today. Woohoo! Nope. Nope. Getting closer, getting closer. It's a Civic, but not the right one. Whew, new car smell. Smelled that in a long time. Just don't hit my knee. I've been driving, as if you've been following the channel, the brown turd for quite a while, though it's now sold. And now I'm definitely been driving this. I have 400 kilometers on it. And in this video, I'm just gonna go over a couple of things that I've noticed, some of the highlights, some of the concerns, and start with some of the basics. It's a 2-liter engine, same one as the FK8, 315 horsepower, 310 foot-pound torque, and a 6-speed manual transmission. No automatics at all. So it's a beautiful engine bay. I like the red trimming on it. I do like that a lot of things are functional in this car, like the air intake, cooling here. That's cool. It's an aluminum hood, so it keeps it nice and light there. And the front is just, again, I currently don't have a license plate on it because I don't want to drill into it, and so I'm taking a chance on a ticket. But I love this horizontal grille, and when you put a plate in there, it really chunks it up and doesn't make it great. Nice red Honda badge, nice Type R emblem here, and LED headlamps. I believe these go into the brake cooling system, so I'll have to go into a more detailed episode later on where we'll talk about lots of things in terms of exhaust sounds and what other people are doing to fix that. This is not at all functional. It's just aesthetic there. And it has this piano black trimming, which I'm a little concerned about only because piano black tends to show an awful lot of scratches. These are pretty good looking rims. I don't think I'd even want to change them out from stock. They look fantastic. And I love the fact that they're matte black instead of piano black, because that's not going to show as many scratches. They are 19 inches. The previous FK8 had 20. The problem was, I think, that they were breaking and cracking over any kind of small potholes with almost no tread or certainly tire wall on the side. So these are 265/30s, 19 inches, and they're Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, which is a very excellent tire, really good lasting in terms of tread length. And the Cup 2s, I think maybe are optional, but then you blow through them really fast, and then look out if it's rainy or any kind of slippery, because then you're in trouble. And so these are Brembo brakes on 13.8-inch front discs, and they're 12 in the back, so they're really big. And I think this whole black and red business happening right here in the white car is just is very, very, very sweet looking. I love it. So one of the things I really like about this car, and one of the reasons I wanted to buy it, is that it has unique body panels. Reminds me a little bit of the Porsche higher end models where they have the widened out flares. It doesn't have glued on pieces. It actually has a unique fender which comes out a few inches more than the regular Civic, and that allows for this vent system for, I guess, heat to escape from the brakes on the side here. That's really, really cool, though I am a little concerned that maybe some rocks will fly through there and smack up the side of the door here. There is some meshes that can be bought. I'll be looking into that. Again, maybe another episode. And the side has this nice piano black piece along the back again with this fairing piece here. And this little corner is where I have my very first stone chip. 100 kilometers, that stone chip on the inside of the fender. Like, what the heck? And it's on the piece of plastic yet. That's kind of crazy. This side door, in fact, the door for the passenger and the driver are the only two originals. Everything else is unique to this car. The hood, the fenders, the bumpers. I'm not sure about the roof. I think it might be the same. But again, it flares out along the side here. So you've got these big hips that comes in and it comes back out in the front. And that's, again, one of the reasons I wanted this car is that it has unique body panels. And I like the fact that it's something a little bit different. I always like to have a car that's a little bit different, but not wacko crazy different. And this is an affordable car for something that is kind of bespoke and a little bit unique. So the uniqueness of the car carries on to the back, which may be my favorite angle. I'm not sure. I haven't figured it all out. I've got quite a few angles I like, which I think will make it interesting for me for quite some time, because sometimes I get kind of bored with how a car looks. But this back wing is obviously unique. It's definitely less crazy than the FK8 model, which had all sorts of side pieces. Looks like more of a Batmobile, I think, especially if it's in black. But one of the janky things is this little holder here. Looks kind of like Pep Boys discount store or something, I don't know. But I can live with it. Piano black again, kind of crazy. But again, this wide fender goes into the wide bumper, into piano black, trimming with the diffuser along the back here as well. Triple exhaust, same as the FK8, which looks way better than it sounds. We'll talk about that in the drive. Red badge, Type R here again. Yeah, I mean, this is not functional at all, but it looks nice. The hatch is huge. Not that I'm planning to carry refrigerators, but I could if I wanted to. It does have this nice little screen that pulls across, so it's always out of the way. And of course it has this piece here as a permanent piece, which it looks like you can take it out. We'll look at that again later. And the seats go back, and it becomes really, really big back here. No spare tire, just a pump and some goop. So I guess I better have CAA. Well, another reason to love this car, I hope it's not crap, is the interior. It has, again, seats that are incredible. And from what I've read and what I've felt so far in a little over a week, they're supportive and they're comfortable, which is, how do they do both of those things? I don't know, but they seem to have managed to do it. And even has a little red engine start light. That looks cool. The honeycomb grille, which all the Civics have, is fantastic. A numbered car over on the side there, inside the vent. That's really, really nice. Aluminum shift knob, fantastic. I haven't had to, hasn't been too hot or too cold for me to handle it. Other people complain about it being too hot or too cold depending where you are. And I don't think this would be driven too many times in the really cold, so I'm thinking it's hot. No complaints so far on that piece. Electronic parking brake. Easy for me to say. Hate it. I guess it's a carryover from the regular Civic, but you gotta pull it back and then you gotta have your foot on the pedal to put it on. There's other cars that I've driven that if you at least go forward, it comes off automatically, and that would be helpful, but the Civic does not do that. Has Alcantara on the side door panels, little red LED strip light in the doors, Alcantara on the armrest. That's super nice too. It also has two pretty big cup holders for here. Wireless charging is nice, never had that before. That's worked so well, and the Bluetooth has not failed on me yet. It's connected every time, so I'm happy with that. Gauges are nice and clear. It's fun to go from comfort to sport to Type R, and this is all factory settings, and so that's pretty cool. And again, when we go for a little bit of ride, I'll talk a little bit about how I feel about that. And so I usually have it in comfort, and we'll discuss that in a second why that's big. The nice little screen on top here is very visible. It's fast to operate, doesn't have much lag. Again, a lot of things I need to figure out, and that will be again in more updates on owning this car. I kind of wish it had a sunroof. I know it's weight, it shouldn't be weight on top, it's a track car, but I'm not sure if I will track it. We'll see what happens. There is a track about 100 kilometers north of Winnipeg, but it's a pretty rough track, and I had my Miata on there one time, and it did a pretty good number on the tires, and so I'm not sure if I like that much. Bose audio system, again, sounds pretty good. I haven't had a chance to play with it very much. I like the red emblem on the steering wheel and the leather wrap steering wheel with the red stitching. These are all great little things. Odd choice to have the old style USB charging ports in the front. At least they label the one that can charge and do data versus just data. But they're old USB. I was expecting to have at least one C in a newish car like this. The back seats are roomy. Odd choice again to put cup holders in the middle so you only can have 2 people in the back. Like, why? I mean, not that I want 3 people in the back, but you completely stopped people from having 3 people in the back. And really, I don't know. And then they have just black seats with red stitching, and it looks a little unfinished back there. So I guess if you had little kids and stuff, maybe black would be a blessing over the red. I am concerned a little bit about the red wearing and maybe stains and stuff like that. I don't plan to eat in this car. This is going to be a special car for me. I'm certainly going to drive it though. The first 2 people who had the cars ahead of me at the dealership simply took them with the plastic on and put them into their collection and maybe sell them later in the date. I think I'm the first one to actually driving it as a regular car. So that's the interior, pretty much. I like it. Let's go for a ride. The Canadian model, I don't know if the American model has this because I've never read about it. I heard people were putting this in, has automatic dimming rearview mirror, and it has the programmable buttons on the underneath for doing things like garage doors. So I'm happy with that. No heated seats available on these cars. Again, come on, parking brake. Seriously? There we go. And if you don't put the brake pedal hard enough, parking brake won't come off either. There's a little warning in the sign. I've noticed that as well. All right, so parking brake, definitely a turd for me. I have driven at night, and again, I will do a night drive at another time and show off the LEDs and the coverage of the front lights. It's basically gonna be, what does it feel like to own one of these cars without, as a regular person? Driving it around, enjoying it in the city, taking small jaunts here and there. So first off, the seats fit fantastically. They're easy to adjust, tilt and telescoping steering wheel, so it fits exactly the way I want it to for 9 and 3. The shifter is crazy good. For a few complaints about the second gear grind, which ironically I had an S2000 over 20 years ago. So that was kind of crazy that they may still be having problems with that second gear synchro. I don't know, Honda, fix it. One thing I noticed when I drove it is that it doesn't drive as harsh as I thought it was going to. I do like the fact that it is reasonably stiff. I've never minded a stiff car. Own a Focus RS or a Fiesta ST sometime, and then reconsider how harsh the Type R suspension is. It's like, oh, this is pretty good. But I do get it. There's people on forums who are plugging in the Acura Integra Type S module for the dampers, and it basically makes everything one step softer, and apparently it doesn't really affect handling at all. So it's not a lot of money, maybe I think $280 US. Maybe sometime I might try that, I don't know. One thing it does do, and you probably heard it right there, it rev matches, which is which is nice. You don't have to flip the throttle. You don't have to learn how to heel and tow. Anyhow, fantastic transmission. Love it, love it, love it. The exhaust sound. Well, one word, sucks. It doesn't sound like anything. It's like, I get it, it was made for more countries than just North America, and they probably have, from what I've read, that they have, there's a nice, oh, I love that rev matching, nice, nice, nice. I get the fact that it has to be quiet for noise laws in other countries, and they can't really change it on the assembly line. These are made in Japan for worldwide. There are people who have taken out a fuse to leave the valving open on the exhaust, so you at least get the Type R open valving. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that quite yet. I'm not sure if there's any other consequences to do with that. Beats me. But it's disappointing, and I understand that there's piped-in sound coming into the cabin through the speaker systems, and that's I'm not a big fan of that either. At least with the Fiesta ST, it had a pipe that kind of came past the firewall, so some of the engine sound naturally came into the cabin, and I wish they had done something like that to give the inside some great sound. Even the outside isn't great. I've been very nice with it. I'm supposed to drive it about 1,000 kilometers before I kind of give her, keeping it below 4,000 RPMs. So maybe the sound will be better once I can do another update once I'm past my 1,000. That should be in another few weeks. So subscribe and like and all that kind of business, I guess. And we'll go from there. It has the whole Honda Safety Sense system. So it warns you about things behind you, brakes, warns in front of you, has adaptive cruise. And so far so good. I like it. The rear view camera is a little odd. It has two different colors. If there's a car behind you, it's yellow, and there isn't, it's orange. I'll have to figure that out. I think if there's nothing behind you, it might be green. It's quite quiet in here. I don't hear a lot of road noise, so I'm pleased with that, especially since they are 265 width tires. That's a lot of rubber on the road. But I'm not very fussy about that, and I really don't care that much. It's not a luxury car. It just feels really, really good. I do have already one interesting rattle, and it's gotten better. And I thought it was the glove box, but I've tried all sorts of things with that, and it used to be worse. And so maybe by me moving the glove box latch back and forth, maybe some grease has moved around in there, and I'm not hearing it very much anymore. So I'd rather it go away on its own than trust somebody to be monkeying around in my car on my nice red interior. Oh, this is a great road. Whoa. This is just in comfort mode. Lots of bumps, so I don't mind that. Like for me, this is just fantastic. I will delve into sport and Type R on another drive probably, but sheesh, this is nice. Good weighted steering, good feedback. It's a four-wheel drive car. What the heck, Honda? Way to go. That's pretty bumpy. That's in comfort. Oh, okay. My nephew has an FK8, a nice black one, and he has, he's gonna do a show with me, and we're gonna compare and contrast the two cars as well. That's probably gonna come up in early September, and so that'll be interesting. There are some little rattles also from where the seat belts are. If you bang against them, you can tell why. It's just like, it's just a piece of plastic that sits there. I don't know why they wouldn't put some sort of felt or some sort of piece in there, because that's a rattle trap right there. We're just waiting for it happening. I also noticed that the steering wheel isn't straight. And so even if I'm on a crown, a pretty good crown on the road, it is definitely clockwise from center. It also had mixed and matched tire pressures. None of them were right. So just little things like that where you go, you know, it wouldn't have been that hard to just get it right. Anyhow, I'm happy to have it. I'm scared to death someone's going to crash into me because I've waited for it for so long, so I'm trying not to get too attached to it. And can't wait till I get to 1,000 kilometers. It's going to be fun to see what this thing does as it goes up the rev range. So, after about a week of owning this thing, Fantastics are transmission, handling, looks, seats. Wow, just about everything. The turds would be electric, emergency brake, weak exhaust sound, which is difficult to figure out to get it to sound any better, which is unfortunate. And some plastic rattles here and there because it is a Civic and there's some problems with that. So those are some drawbacks to the car. We'll see you in the next episode when we see what it is like to own one of these things in real life.